Hello, the Lanterna team. I hope you're all doing well and managed to stay safe. I also learned about some new person joining the team, so welcome to Lanterna, and I hope I will soon have the pleasure to work with you. If you don't mind, the idea is to talk about Domaine Des Herbauges. It's a producer. You have 4 wines from the same producer, and they are absolutely seasonal wines, especially regarding the situation and focusing on off-premises for the moment. So, you have the 4 bottles. I won't focus too much on the tasting notes, but what I think are key information, something that you already know, but additional points, if I may, really to focus on off-premises right now. Domaine des Herbauges. Domaine des Herbauges is a family estate since 1864. It's now handled by Jérôme Choblet, a young producer that, if you're at Lanterna since a while, you met him because he's coming in the US twice a year, and you will see after why people remember his name. It's a very large estate, 265 acres. It's located in Loire, yes, but in the Pays Nantais, which is, as you know, the western part of the Loire. Pays Nantais being linked to Nantes, the city, and also the Muscadet. So it's really here, close to the ocean. I'm going to explain you more. So Loire, Pays Nantais. He's really located at the end of the Loire River, touching the ocean, and also touching a huge lake, Grandlieu Lake. Nobody talk about it. It's the second largest lake in France. I'm mentioning that to the point that proximity of the ocean, the end of the big Loire River, 625 miles, and these huge lakes are bringing a climate and specific terroir that are extremely unique and a high diversity. That's what we're going to talk about as well. So that's the key point about the estate. Then after, if you don't mind, they are sustainable. I'm mentioning that because people care more and more. Sustainable agriculture since 1980, they were the first one. Terravity since ever. They also have another level, HVE. Anyway, they are pretty much everything except organic. They can't right now. It's very difficult to be organic. It's part of the Loire because you're very close to the ocean. Can be windy, can be rainy, can be, the ocean breeze, and it can be very affected by the milieu. So that's why. Otherwise, everything else is done really more than sustainable. Also, their wines are unfined and a light sterile filtration. I point out because people ask more and more. That's it, and they are selling wine in over 65 countries, so they know what they are doing. The main points, if I may, right now, to focus on for off-premises, that's the main thing, and after we'll talk wine by wine. Right now, as you know, the Loire is going up. It's a region that people, the Loire, they like it. They make a link, not anymore only to Sancerre, the Loire. Then after, the 4 wines we are going to talk about are 3 of them single grape, which is easy, as much as we love the brand, but sometimes single grape, especially now, it's easy to sell. It's an argument. Then after, I really think these wines are very seasonal for many reasons. The weather, spring, summer. Right now, people don't have in mind to have wines complicated. They want something easy, daily wine, easy drinking, and of course, ideally, daily budget, which is under 20 bucks. So all these 4 wines are these. These we start in arguments. Loire, easy drinking, daily wine, seasonal, fresh, and inexpensive. Most of the retailers, they met Jérôme Choblet, so just mentioning the name. Then after, in addition to the agriculture stuff I told you, all the Jérôme Choblet wines are unoaked. Same, seasonal, unoaked on purpose. So we want to cut something which are wine for you. We start to have the key accounts. Mineral, freshness, crisp, zesty, not heavy, not over oak, nothing. That's really what I think is the seasonal matter to consider. Then, last before we start, you know me, my back label, Frank's Signature Wine. I have a very old site, but all the fact sheets are constantly updated with the wine, the cuvée, the bottle picture, the vintage, the blend if it's blended, the terroir, if it's all the key points about the vinification, everything is there. On this part, if you want to know more, especially when you just arrive at Lanterna, you have key information about the estate, what I mentioned to you. Tasting notes, food pairing, and at the end of it, rating, because it's usual, especially now. So all these are on the fact sheets and they are easy to approach on the phone, okay? So now, we're gonna start, if you don't mind, with the first one you have that I suggest you to taste first, which is from Domaine des Herbauges, le Champ-Baron Muscadet Côte de Grandlieu. Alors, Muscadet Côte de Grandlieu, not a lot of people know because Jérôme owns 50% of the appellation. They all mostly know Muscadet Sèvres-Maine, but Côte de Grandlieu, it's a recent appellation, 1994, the closest one to the ocean. Muscadet, in people's mind, for a long time, it was just a cheap wine, easy, just to go with oysters and nothing else. It changed drastically. Plus, for all the reasons I told you about the terroir of Jérôme, he has something with more length, more body, and that's quite unusual. Muscadet now can be a wine by itself, by the glass at home for the moment, and with pretty much everything. That is very important. Key things. Loire, Pays Nantais, Muscadet, Côte de Grandlieu, yes. And the tasting of the wine is distinctive. This one is 90 points, one enthusiast. It's written on the fact sheet. And you will see they mention this wine as crispy, yes, but bright, citrusy, already delicious, mouth-watering. So that's very important. These are the keywords for this wine. So, 90 points, one enthusiast. Screw cap. All these wines are standing cartons, which is easy for the retailer to make a rack on purpose. And if I may, so retailers, they all need to have something which is not everywhere. So this appellation is rather unusual. And on purpose, if you know me already, you know I'm taking care of everything, including the packaging. I put a packaging like that with Jérôme to have something eye-catching. Right now, in retailers, even if people don't go as often, everything that makes something seasonal, eye-catching, fresh, nice, joyful, that's what we all need now. So that's it. Le Champ Baron, you have the 2018 current vintage. Fact sheet detail, 90 points, one enthusiast. Everything that I'm telling you is on the back label. That's the first one from Jérôme. I'm suggesting you to taste first. And of course, enjoy by yourself for the tasting. The second one I'm thinking about on purpose and for the tasting, it's the unoaked Chardonnay from Jérôme Choblet. So that one, I don't have the sample with me. You have the fact sheet under the eyes, I guess. So this one, unoaked on purpose because right now it's a trend. So this one you sell easily something. Loire, unoaked, Chardonnay. In people's mind, you know Chardonnay is expensive. That one is not at all. Same, under 20 bucks from the Loire. So you have the Chardonnay notes, but you also have the citrusy, the honeysuckle, mineral touch, little salty notes because it comes close to the ocean. So you feel the ocean proximity. You have the Chardonnay notes, unoaked, and the crispness. Same, screw cap, standing cartons. So that's an easier wine to sell for the grape and the region. Then after, I was a bit short on these two wines because we are coming on the wine from Jérôme Choblet, which is the Gros Le Gris. So this one, in nearly 30 years, is my most successful wines in only 4 vintages. You don't have a lot of this grape everywhere, simply because it's only 300 acres in the world, most of them in the Loire. And Jérôme has something like 50% of all the surface of this grape. This grape, it's a very old one, way before all the others in the Loire. It was there 900 years ago. It's a mutation of the Gros Lot. Gros Lot, it's a local name for this grape from the Loire, because it's such a black grape that Gros Lot, it's a slang name for the crow, the black bird there. So when they made the mutation, the skin of the red Gros Lot was so dark that even the white one, it's a white grape officially, the skin is a bit darker and it makes a specific color that looks like a rosé. Here it is, the famous Gros Le Gris from Domaine Des Herbauges. So, of course, nobody knows this wine. When you mention Gros Le Gris, at the beginning, they don't know what it is. There's only one producer in the world bottling the single grape. Only 300 acres. And the few producers having some, they use it mostly for their sparkling in the Loire, because they have specific peppery little notes. So that's why they don't know. So yes, when you go to retail, you say, people don't know that. We know that. But you can ask to all your team already at Lanterna. Once they try the Gros Le Gris, 99% of the customer, they come back and get it for their daily wine because they love it. And we'll talk about it why. That is an argument for the Gros Le Gris. And since it's not a wine that is everywhere, they can make the markup they want. And when you mention it's a wine that has only 300 acres, nobody has it in the world, when you look at the color, a bit pink, and the taste, we'll talk about it, they expect something expensive, and it's not. They can make plenty of money at 15 bucks, and more if they want. So that's really the big selling wine from Jérôme Choblet right now. It was before by the glass in many, many key restaurants. Of course, right now, we know what's going on, but I'm mentioning that because so many could have seen this wine by the glass. And when I say by the glass, in some place, they sell it at a very high price. So they recognize this wine by the glass at a high price in some key restaurants, for some of them. So that's another argument. Then the tasting, it's really spectacular. because again, it is officially white. It looks like a rosé. And really it has melon, strawberry, peach, you have nectarine, it's mineral. And the Gros Le Gris, the little distinctive thing you will feel is that it ends a bit peppery and spicy. That's quite unusual. So it's really, even in the nose, sometimes if you have a blind tasting in the nose without looking at the color, you could think it's a red wine. So that's really a unique stuff. Gros Le Gris. I know the name is complicated for the reason I told you, Gros Le, where it comes from, and Gris because it's a mutation. And again, you will see on the back label, it's a white wine officially, but it looks like a rosé. So, sorry to repeat, you all know, if you're at Lanterna, you all know Gros Le Gris, how successful it is. And if you don't know yet, yes, you catch the attention with something that is not everywhere. They can make markup, and I promise you, 95% of the time when you have a customer buying it, retail and their customer, they can come back and buy it on a regular basis. It's one of the most successful wine. Something unique that does make your difference, our difference. As you know, if we all sell the same wine, everybody can compare. This one, nobody can compare. So that's really a big argument for the Gros Le Gris. And then after, the last one is the only wine being blend. It's a rosé. It's a rosé Éléonore, so I don't have the bottle with me, sorry about that. So it's from Jérôme. So same, we played on the packaging, something attractive, nice. The color is nice, that's what people want. And this wine coming from the Loire, he has the Gros Le grape, and he has on it, I missed one, sorry. The Gros Le, yes, some Gamay and some Merlot. So it's a strange blend, you say. The Gros Le, for the color concentration, the Gamay, the sherry nose it can bring. And this year, he put some Merlot on purpose because, the weather was so hot, so dry in the Loire last summer, and it will be the same now, I guess, that the grapes were nearly too ripe and it was missing freshness, fruitiness. And as you know, the Merlot can bring that. So that's the only wine blended. It's a rosé. We put some Merlot on purpose to be able to give the freshness of the Merlot. And the other grapes are Gamay, people, they know what it is, and the Gros Le. Same, I don't have the bottle, sorry, but it's a nice packaging, screw cap. Recently they got a rating, but only 87 points, but honestly, all the ratings of the rosé are not very high. But that just means something with bright acidity, tangy aftertaste. It's really refreshing, strawberry, red cherries, really, that's exactly what you're expecting from a rosé. And again, being from this region of the Loire, I told you, this proximity of the ocean, you really can feel it's close to the ocean. Rosé, you can have some everywhere. And when I say ocean, really, the Atlantic. You have a breezy little lens on it. So it's very distinctive. Sorry, I know I've been long. Thanks for your attention. Of course, you can email me, call me. Please have a look at the site if you don't know me already. The fact sheets are really updated. All the key information are there. And I was really insisting on all these key points for the retailer right now. Seasonal wine, fresh, clean, screw cap, easy, under 20 bucks. That's what people are looking for right now. Again, I apologize for it's long. If you know me, you are not surprised, and quick. And please contact me for any other question. And now let me end that with at least the one I have here. Why? Because it's my daily wine with my wife. That's the Gros Le Gris. You just open it and really, just this, even outside, all the fruits are in my nose. It's amazing. And the freshness, and really, as much as white and rosé, we're expecting something to smell nice and keep the same and be constant. That one, every time you go on it, you get something new, which is really unusual. And at the end, it's really a bit peppery, spicy little touch. It's really unique. That's really a unique wine. Not easy because people don't know the name at the beginning, and after I repeat myself, the best-selling wine we have together, and my best-selling one all over the US since nearly 30 years. Gros Le Gris, and they make money because nobody had it, and they love it. Thank you so much. Cheers, sorry if I'm long. Contact me if you need, and be safe and take great care. Thank you.